Well, that's awkward. Dealing with those commissioning editors.
No, you were asking what the
Yes,
problems
no,
were.
yes, I
but
know.
you think that the people who stopped me are whites. People who were trying to stop me getting in were black people. Bomatala Patela was telling you, we were losing my stories when I came here until I saw Dr. Kukushe. These two commissioning editors, forget their names. The ones who said my series is un-Christian and un-African. Those kind of people.
Where are they today?
Who knows? Who cares?
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
The upside of failure time. As you know, we get to sit with somebody who has a story, as many of us do. We all have failures on the journey, but the failures are never advertised there. You see the success, the one that looks like overnight. And people can look at a Mr. Mfundi Vundla and think, he's at the top. But today we're going to talk about what it really took to get to the top on the upside of failure. But before then, take a listen to this.
This is my story. I will tell it the way I want.
Where is she? Where's that woman?
She's there, Papa, in the kitchen, I would say to him. Oh, my body would be shaking like a leaf.
You think you're better? You think you are better than me? Because you speak English? Because you went to school? You think you are better than me? I'll beat you now!
I saw Max Roach talking in drums.
I want to break a skull. I want to break it in half. Break it in half with a tomahawk. The head of Henrik Verwoerd.
It's the cancer ward. We're all sitting facing each other with drips just shoving chemicals down our veins. I didn't sign up for this shit. I mean, I'm not in the cancer ward to keep company with people who've made peace with death. No. I'm here to fight this monster.
There's no formula to my story. You will not find it on how-to books on how to write film scripts. This story is not by algorithm.
Man with no surname. Oh, and you can go and see that play by Mr. Mfundi Vundla at the Joburg Theatre from March the 27th to the 12th of April, directed by another iconic gentleman, Mr. James Ngobo. And it is starring Bonko Khoza as Thabo and Pagamisa Zwedala as Muruti. How does it feel listening to that audio clip of something that you have created? It has come from inside you.
Then you feel like, it has taken a number of rewrites to finally get to those words. You know what I mean? And because you have to write those words so that when they flow out of the mouths of the actors, that they are natural. The speaking sounds very natural. So, and hearing it is a confirmation that now you got it.
You found the sweet spot.
You found the sweet spot of the text and the point, the dramatic point you want to make.
In terms of sweet spots for yourself, I almost feel like many people will look at yourself and your career and think, well, he's made it. To have a daily for as many years, it's still iconic, still spoken about. At the South African Film and Television Awards in 2024, you got your lifetime achievement. But I also recognize that as a creative, you're constantly evolving.
Indeed.
And flowing.
Indeed.
Have you ever felt like the magnitude of being Mfundi Vundla has overshadowed your other ambitions?
No, because I've not really had other ambitions than being a good writer. I've never aspired to be a politician.
Please don't.
I've never aspired,
We still want to love you.
I've never aspired to be a lawyer. I've never aspired to be a rabbi.
Yes. So, have you ever felt like you trying to do new projects is hard because you're always held up against generations?
Yes, it's hard, but you have to do them. You know that there's something in you which says, the story is inside you, and it wants to be told. So you really don't have a choice. You know, and if you don't tell it, you're going to be miserable. Like if I write this play and I'm off it for 3 days, I'm miserable. So because I'm supposed to be attending to that story that needs to be told and finished and be written and to continue to write it. So yeah, no, that's the process.
There's something you said about the number of rewrites.
Oh yes.
Please share with everybody about, people think the writing process finishes when the script is printed and is in the actor's hands. But
No, the number of rewrites.
Yes.
The even rewrites when the script is in the actor's hands. Like for instance, the actors have been currently rehearsing the play, right? But in the meantime, I'm reading the text and I'm finding places where to make it better. And I'm rewriting as they... So I get in touch with the director. I said, there's certain sections I have rewritten and we better have a meeting so that these actors must know what I've rewritten.
Yes.
Because what they're reading now has changed, So it's a process. Sometimes when you write, you have a good idea about what the scene is, but you don't get it right. It's rough, You don't get it rough, but you must write it down even if it's rough, because you're going to have to go back to it and go back to it. And each time you go back to it, the discipline of going back to it, it gets better. It gets better. And then in the process of working and trying to get it better, you may even you discover things of how to make it better. It's like you learn from the mistakes.
Yes.
Like I was listening to one Nigerian Afrobeat guy, the other day
Yes.
and then he was saying that the art is where the mistake is. You make the mistake, and that's where the art is, because you're going to get the answer in that mistake.
I also love the part of the process because once a script lands in the hands of the actor, there's a new energy that gets infused.
Indeed.
Where the actor also says,
Indeed.
I feel like the character would swear before and not after.
It's almost like, it's like, for instance, when you hand it over to the actor, it's like the death of the author.
It is.
It's the death of the author because now the text acquires another life.
Yes.
In the hands of the actor. Yeah.
Do you ever get, I don't know if the word is offended or take it personal, or maybe you've been doing it long enough to understand that's what the game is? Because once the director's on set with the actors, now let's assume we're talking television and not theater, which the show you see on night one is not the same show you see on the final night.
Yes.
But when actors take the creative license and the directors go, I mean, on some of the sets where I've been, where directors give you creative freedom to, when things come out your mouth, they're like, I like it, keep it. And when you see the product, do you ever feel like, guys, those late nights, my words, what happened? Do you ever have that feeling?
Sometimes the thing is the actors go for it and they actually come with something which you never thought of, which is really, really good. It's like, man, I'm on the right track, and some actor found something I didn't find when I was in my writing room.
Yes.
But the thing is this, that with soaps, for example, you cannot give an actor the freedom to improvise.
There's no time.
There's no time. Not only there's no time, but there the stories are structured long in advance,
Yes.
because you can improvise something which throws off the arc of the story. You see what I'm saying?
Because the actor doesn't know the future.
He doesn't know the future.
Yes, so you
yes.
might say something that's too nuanced.
That's too nuanced or
Yes.
whatever. But there's a predetermined narrative and a highway. You can't somewhere off ramp when you're supposed to stay on the highway.
I'm so glad you explained it like that, because I never thought of it like that. And I guess it's the same with dramas, where you know the beginning and the end, but with soapies, you never know the end. So it's quite strict.
Yeah, you never. For instance, in telenovelas, you do know the end because they say this is a 252 episodes thing, so you have to have an end. But with soapies, I mean, like really, as long as the show is still, doing the good numbers, you don't know where this is going to go.
What has been the secret, if there is a secret, to the longevity of a project like a Generations, where we understand the various dynamics? Number one, when it started, we knew what it meant, particularly for the culture, for Black people. Then, of course, the television landscape changes. Finances change. We see now, Canal Plus is shutting down Showmax. There are so many things going on, but Generations has still been there to the point that it even rebooted. What is it that you are doing differently that others are not? Because so many shows have come and gone.
I've been lucky enough to have good collaborators. Good writers. I've had good writers, and I've got a great writer right now. And it's and good actors, and frankly, some actors who don't work out, and you have to find a way of getting rid of them because you're not going to get where you want with them. So no, it's like a good storyteller, right? Is like somebody who takes a listener or the audience to places where they've never been, And if you take somebody to a place they've never been, they're curious. They become curious. So they follow you because you're taking them to another experience. So if you have that ability or that talent to stay the course and make them curious, you have longevity.
Do you have many industry practitioners that come to have conversations with you to try and get a bit of that aromat that you have that keeps it going? I mean, it's been years of Seven Delon's gone, Isidingo's gone, so many, but this one.
No, I don't really have mix a lot with TV colleagues, and I've got my friends are outside TV.
Is that intentional?
Pardon?
Is that an intentional thing where you've kind of separated your life, where you don't really make friends and family in the industry?
No, I don't have friends in television, and I've got friends in the arts.
Yes,
I've got friends. I'm friends with Sanele Moholi, who is a photographer, and I've got friends with artists like Nandi Pamtambo, people like that. And I've got the other artists. I'm friends with Gregory Makloma.
Yes,
those kind of people. Like I've got James Nobo. I'm friends with, and of course I've got other non-artist friends like lawyers and who I play golf with.
Yes.
And
What's your handicap?
Oh, it's horrible. Don't ask me.
I feel like nobody tells you.
But I used to be a very good golfer.
Really?
At one time, I was a handicap 8.
Yo, I want that Vunga with hidden talents. Can we expect a golf story out of you?
At one time, I was a handicap 8.
Yeah.
I I broke 80. I broke 80 and I played the 79 at Bryanston Country Club. And the following week, I broke 80 again at the Joburg Country Club, and I got 78. And that brought me to a handicap 8.
Yo, Aisha, hidden talent here.
What they call a single digit handicap. That's a good golfer.
I can imagine that once or twice in your golfing experience, you've had to buy everybody around for that hole-in-one.
Oh, I had a hole-in-one once.
I knew it.
At the River Club. I remember that. I've got a whole certificate in my house, with the picture of the hole and everything. And I've the golf ball which went into the hole. I have it there, and it's stamped on the picture, and it's framed and everything. And but at the River Club, they're so snooty. You don't buy everybody a drink because they think that they're too civilized.
River Club is listening. They're like, not for Mr. Vundla. We didn't know. You should have told us. I find that so interesting, and I'm curious as to this whole time we've been talking, you've not once referred to yourself as a producer. You referred to yourself as a writer.
Yes.
And I am curious as to where you are in your career and how you see yourself as your first role. Are you in your era where you say, yes, I have a company, yes, I do all these things, but I am a writer?
I'm a writer. I'm a writer, and I write for television, and I also write for the stage, and I can also write film scripts, and I have also written an opera on Winnie Mandela, and I've also written a small opera on Chris Hani, and I'm a writer, but primarily I'm TV and I'll say stage. I'm kind of tired of television right now, to tell you the truth.
Why?
I don't like the people at the SABC.
Oh my gosh. And maybe we can then be honest about it. Is it because in all types of institutions, but particularly government ones, it's never just about the art. The
politics.
Yes.
The other politics.
Yes.
Yeah, and they are vicious. They're cutting my budget and everything, and they expect me to deliver miracles with cutting budgets, and they're forcing me to do certain things which compromise my story. They just I don't like them.
Where do you?
I don't care whether they're here listening to this. I don't give a damn.
You know what? How old are you now, Tate?
I'm 80.
Yeah, okay, no, you're allowed to not give a damn. You're 80. I love this for you. So let me ask you this then. Saying what you're saying, considering, I'm in the same industry. There's so many people in the industry. What would you say you have learned about, or what advice would you give to people who are still needing to deal with budget cuts and the 10 million things happening around, but they still want to make great
They
film?
should hang in. They should hang in tough. They should, even if I was told yesterday, like one TV station, which will remain unnamed, someone just gives $1 million to somebody and say, come up with 13 episodes. And then the rest, the poor producer has to hire after students and people like that to make things happen. So sometimes you are forced, when you're starting, you're forced to do things like that. But that's how you grow.
Yes.
So my situation is, my story is, get in where you can get in. Wherever you can get in. I mean, like in California, they used to say, wash the car of the producer if you have to.
Yes.
But if get in where you can get in, So my answer to all those people who want to make careers in television and film is that they must hang in tough. It's not going to be easy. But if you hang in tough, and you must be in a group, you must not be alone. You must be in a group, because if you're in a group, say you have 5 mates who are sort of like doing the same thing,
Like Abo Matt Damon, Ben Affleck.
Stay in a group. Stay in a
Yes.
group. Because one of them is going to get lucky. One of them, and he'll take the rest of you.
Sure. Firstly, I appreciate your candidness. I always love honest, real conversations. When you think about yourself 30, 40 years ago and the kind of businessman you were then, the things you were willing to tolerate and put up with versus where you are in life now, where you are clearly enjoying the process of theater, where it's a short story, you're getting into the details, you're getting to mold it. What would you say to that 40, 30-year-old Mfundi now that you are 80 at this age?
I say, you are a good, strong young man, Mfundi, and you are what you are because of what you were at 24 and at 18. And I was expelled from a boarding school at the age of 15, and then I was expelled from a university at the age of 21, and I've been troubled. In school, boarding schools. I was expelled at Fort Hare.
What were you doing?
I was harassed by the special branch. I was a political activist.
Yes, yes.
And, I had to finish off my education in the United States. I didn't go to America because I wanted to. It's because I couldn't get an education in my own country. So after being expelled from Fort Hare, I had to get the hell out of here. And then I ended up in America, and thanks God, they helped me get an education there, got a wife, got a son out there, made a family and everything. So yeah, so now I think my guts got me to where I am.
Sure.
I don't take, you know what.
I don't. Guys, please go on YouTube so you can see Tate Vundla's face when he says, I don't take you know what. Then you know exactly what that what is. We're going to head off to the news, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about the hiccups along the way, the phenomenal career that is in Tate Vundla's career, and I'll tell you a little bit about the meeting him and I had in his office many years ago. It's 2:30.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
It is 22 minutes to 3 o'clock. We continue on the upside of failure with the phenomenal Mr. Mfundi Vundla. And today, for this conversation, I'm going to refer to him as the writer. Just the writer. 011 8830702. The WhatsApp line 0727021702. You shared with us about being kicked out of school, going to the US to be educated. When you came back home...
You must talk about the play as well.
Oh, yes, we're coming to the play. When you come back home from the States and you are dealing with the realities of people thinking, well, you had it nice in America, not realizing the other dynamics you had to deal with. Now you're coming back and you're trying to establish something. What was some of the hardest parts of that period in your life of trying to recreate your identity in the midst of it was home, but it's not the same home.
It's not the same,
Things have changed, but also people at home look at you like you had it easy.
Yeah. So the first time I come back around 1992. And then I, to clearly establish myself in television. I have story ideas I've written, and I go to the SABC and I see the new black honchos there, including people like Madalam Patel and others. And I show them my stories, and they say to me, we'll get back to you. And I go back to Los Angeles. They never get back to me. I call them. They've lost my stories and stuff like that. So I come back.
And that was hard copy back then.
It
wasn't even email.
No email. So I get back. I come back to South Africa. I said, you know what? I was born here in Joburg. I know what game they're playing. So what I do is, I grew up in Dube. There's an inspector of schools there called Dr. Kukusha. I went to school with his son, Tsepo Kukushe, at Morris Isaacson, and he's sitting on the board of the SABC, and I inform him that I've studied television, and I'm not having any joy at the SABC, and he says, "Oh, go and see Matalam Patel." I said, "No, I've seen Balam Patel. I want you to introduce me to his boss."
Yo.
I meet Matalam Patel's boss, and he's a man called Quentin Green. He's the head of TV in the SABC. I walk into Quentin Green's office, and the first thing he says to me is, "I want you to create a soap, an aspirational soap for CCV TV." And I say, "Sure." My response is, "Yeah, sure." What I didn't tell Quentin Green is I didn't know nothing about soaps.
You just said, "I've got it."
I know. I'll do it. You see, I was trained by, my mentors were in the cop dramas in America, Hill Street Blues and all those kind of things. I could write. My ambition here, when I came to South Africa, the first thing I wanted to do a cop drama series. I still have the title, Brixton Murder and Robbery Squad. I still have that title. That's what I wanted to do. And but there was no opportunity. So this guy says, "I must do a soap." I don't know nothing. My wife is in LA. I call her and I tell her to go to a certain bookstore, buy 5 books about soaps, and Federal Express them to me. She does that. I'm in Dubai. I'm reading these books from cover to cover, studying the structure of soaps, how characters are built, the story arcs of soaps, and that sort of thing, and then getting a good understanding of what sort of animal is this. And other thing, I'm watching soaps 24/7, Egoli, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital. I watch all of those.
Young and the Restless.
Young and the Rest. I'm watching all of those soaps. And finally, I get the structure. That time, my younger brother, Peter, is starting the first black advertising agency in South Africa called Head Boys. So he's my friend also. I grew up with, he's my brother, but he's my close friend.
Yes.
So I hang up with him because I'm coming to the new scene. I don't know people. So I hang out with my brother. And I walk out, and I'm his groupie now. And then the next thing is that I see the advertising world, and I see the people there. I get some understanding of what happens in an advertising office and that kind of thing. I said, I'm going to set my soap in the advertising industry.
I love the story. So when you first saw it on air, what was that feeling like?
Let's stop before going on air. Now, so after doing the first episode,
yes.
By the way, the commissioning editors, the black commissioning editors, who have been there forever, doing apartheid TV and everything,
Yes.
they are the ones who were supposed to have commissioned this thing.
Yes.
This thing is commissioned over their heads.
Yo.
You understand? So, but they have to approve it for this thing. So they see my first episode. They are so angry, and they recommend that this thing is so anti-African, anti-Christian.
No.
It should not be screened. Yes.
Which part did they feel was anti-African, anti-Christian?
I don't know what it is. They said, we have recommended that this not be screened. But I said, well, they're irrelevant. But Quentin Green and he had other things. He screened it anyway. And the rest is history.
Well, that's awkward, dealing with those commissioning editors.
No, you were asking what the
Yes,
problems
no,
were.
yes, I
but
know.
you think that the people who stopped me are whites. People who were trying to stop me getting in were black people. Matalam Patel, I was telling you, we were losing my stories when I came here until I saw Dr. Kukushe. These 2 commissioning editors, forget their names, the ones who said my series is un-Christian and un-African, those kind of people.
Where are they today?
Who knows? Who cares? As Matalam Patel, may his soul rest in peace.
Guys, I need to take a break.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
13 minutes to 3 o'clock, The Upside of Failure with Mfundi Vundla. And before we get to talking about Man with No Surname, 011-883-0702 and the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. So Ntate Vundla, many years ago, because I'm 40 now, I must have been 22 or 23, I played a character on Generations, and you gracefully honored a meeting where I said, "Hi, Mr. Vundla, I just want to learn." And I remember we met in your offices in Mill Park. So this would have actually been more than 15 years ago. And I will never forget some of the things you shared with me where you had so many books in your office. And you were telling me how important it is to read, how it's not about learning the SABC system and how to get your shows there. It's about honing your craft. And you said to me, I can tell you're smart. You're not just an actor who reads lines. You want more for yourself. But you told me you need to work hard. All those other things, don't worry. Fix your craft. And those other things will come after. And I don't know if you even remember that conversation, but I remember it perfectly. Even you were wearing like a navy blue shirt with thin white stripes.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that. So I have to just say thank you for your candor.
Yeah.
And you were saying, read scripts, read all these things, because everybody's trying to get in at SABC. But the one thing you'll have above is learning to hone your craft of storytelling.
Right, sure, absolutely. I was a good father. I gave
You were.
I gave you good advice.
No, you really did. And I will never, ever take for granted.
Yeah.
And even after this conversation, I'm like, Shem, I need to meet you at the golf course and just hear the stories.
Yeah.
There are so many messages coming through. Before we get to the play, hear your voice notes on 072-702. Let me just check. Do we have headphones there? 072-702-1702.
Dumelang, nna ke batlo itse hore Ntate Vundla nkile a actor yena na or o actisa batho mara yena azange a actor.
Good afternoon, Relebogile and team. I have a question for Mfundi Vundla. How does he do it? How has he got it right from the time he started up until today? Is it a top secret like KFC's recipe? Or perhaps he has ways that he managed to keep generation on our screens? I remember from the episode that I loved back then, up until today, generations, the legacy, is still going. And how does he keep generation going ever? Is it Dingo fell through, Sieven Delan, Movango, generation is still on? How does he do it?
It is so refreshing listening to Ntate Vundla. My father is 76 years old, and I've identified a similar trait, that when they get older, the filters go. The honesty, straight talking, and all of that just comes through. I guess when you are in your golden years, actually nobody can tell you nothing. So yeah, it's refreshing to hear the same from Ntate Vundla.
Hi, Relebogile. I'm just so flippin' thankful there are great writers around. Like the man you have in your studio now. It's the ability to write down your emotions, and not only that, observe other people's emotions and be able to write it down as a script. Hats off, hats off. Sarah from How to Be a Sport.
Thank you so much for all your voice notes. Quickly a call and we'll get into Ntate Vundla's response. Zola from Jozi. How's it, Zola?
Thanks in UCC.
Good. Go ahead.
I think I was moved by Ndate's story, especially when he shared how he started and who was making it difficult for him at the SABC. And it's sad, because I relate so much, and I know I'm not the only one. We experience the same thing to this day. That it's people that actually look like us that make it difficult for us to get to the next level on whatever we are trying to pursue. But I suppose, him sharing his story is just a testament that this is not just unique to you, Zola. So you just have to march forward, and hopefully one day you get to the promised land. So thank you.
Ala Zola, ala, thank you so much. Ntate Vundla, you've had comments from people asking if you ever acted, your story's inspiring. What would you like to respond?
No, I've never acted. No. I mean, as a kid, we were in those like nativity plays when we were a kid and that sort of thing. But no, nothing serious. No.
I think it would be so cool. Your next film, I'm speaking it into life. I get he said he's got Brixton cops and robbers.
Yeah.
Ne? That film, you must make a cameo appearance as a politician.
I don't. Politicians, those are strange animals. Those are strange animals. They are like customs. Customs at the airport. Those people at customs. They're just like politicians. They've got different mothers. I'm sorry.
Ntando says, and we had the actor Ronnie in studio with us not long ago, where he shared how Generations was so there for him. And this message says, Ntate Vundla, please can you tell us about the relationships that you've built over the years with your actors? I'm reminded about how Generations was there for Ronnie when he lost his daughter.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are some actors, you are just sort of like attracted to, and you can see something in them, like Connie Ferguson, like she transitioned from being an actor to being a producer. Another actress who I felt that could have been a producer, and I'm surprised that she never became one, is Winnie Chaba. I always thought that she had the temperament to be a producer, but now she produces the soaps, royal soaps. But I always thought that she could be a producer. And
Winnie, if you're listening, it's not too late.
And another person who I thought could have played on her popularity, but did not get solid advice, was Sophie Ndaba. I thought Sophie could have gone places, and but I don't think she had solid advice or unfortunately. I mean, I don't blame her for this, by the way. And but I always thought that Sophie could perhaps also have been a producer.
I had on the show not long ago. She spoke lovingly about you when we spoke about the period of the axing of the actors, and she says you guys had a conversation, and she said she was so forever indebted for what you have done.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you see that potential in all the people you've worked with.
Yeah.
I want to know, man with no surname, what do you want people to take out of the experience when they go to attend?
Well, I cannot, sometimes, you create a work of art and people being people, they extract whatever they extract from a work, and they see different things. At a minimum, I want people to walk out with a feeling that Mfundi Vundla can tell a story. At a minimum, I want people to walk out feeling that, gee, this guy can tell a story.
In your whole life, looking back, what is the biggest lesson you've learned about failure?
Failure, I mean, it's just like, like Peter Tosh says, you have to stand up, dust yourself off, and start all over again.
Sure. Ntate Vundla, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate the legacy that you have built for yourself. You've set a bar for so many Black producers and writers. And I specifically say Black because the timing of what you contributed was so critical, of aspirational, where we are able to see ourselves as more than what we were. And I wish you all of the best in this journey with the play. I cannot see what else is to come. And you and I have an upcoming date at the golf course.
Yes. You must
Right.
come. Our first date is the play.
Is the play. And then after the play, we're going to the golf
We'll
course.
see what happens.
With bad handicaps.
Yes.
Ntate Vundla, the upside.
I played golf with Clement.
Really?
Yeah, I played with Clement and Legend.
Oh,
You know
nice.
Legend?
Yes, Legend is also a TV producer.
Yeah, I played a round of golf with Clement and Legend at the River Club.
Aha. The River Club, you owe this man a celebration for that hole-in-one. Do not forget, 27th of March to the 12th of April, directed by James Ngobo. It's called Man with No Surname. It will be taking place at the Joburg Theatre. Get your tickets.
Spend your afternoon
With Relebogile Mabotja
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.